Black History Month Virtual Festival. Here's the reading titles and why. February is Black History Month in the US. A group started Black History Month. This group is a ASALH. They help people learn about Black history. Black History Month has a theme. A theme is an idea the month will focus on. The ASL choose the theme. They choose a different theme every year. The theme for 2021 is about Black families. The SL has a special event this February. The event is the 2021 Black History Month Virtual Festival. Virtual means online. The virtual festival is on the SL website. The virtual festival celebrates the Black History Month. Speakers give presentations during the virtual festivals. The presentation are about Black families. The speakers talked during the presentations. The speaker includes authors, chiefs, historians, teachers, and scientists. One speaker is Henry Louis Gates Jr. Henry is an author and filmmaker. He is the host of the TV show, too. Famous people are guests on the TV show. Henry helps the people learn their family histories. Family histories include ancestors. The ancestors are family who lived long ago. Henry will talk during the main presentation. He will talk about Black family histories. The main presentation will be on February 20. Another presentation will be on February 28th. The speaker for the presentation will be Bernice King. She will talk about her family. Bernice is the daughter of Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr. He was a famous Black leader in the U.S. Other speakers will give presentations too. People can watch the presentations online. What presentations would you like to watch? Here's a group in the news. The SL. I should be spelled ASALH. The SL started Black History Month. The SL was started in 1915. They have headquarters in Washington, D.C. The SL has many events during the year. The event celebrates Black history. February is the Black History Month in the U.S. The U.S. has 50 states. The biggest state is Alaska. The smallest state is Rhode Island. The capital of the U.S. is Washington, D.C. Knock knock. Who's there? Event. Event who? Event to this festival yesterday. I have a joke. Tell me. What is at the end of February? I don't know. Why? What? The letter Y. Choose the pictures about Black History Month Virtual Festival. It's a history, an event. No Jeep. Black History Month, no palm tree. February, ancestors. No beach towels. Presentation, celebrates, virtual. Websites, family, can open, no. Speaker, and speaker. Last page back. What is this? What is the paper about? Black History Month Virtual Festival. Who started Black History Month? ASALGH. When is the Black History Month in the US? February. What words means online? Visual. Who can people watch during the virtual festival? Beggars. Who does Henry Louis Gates Jr. help people learn about? Ancestors. Ancestors. That is it. The page. Next up, remembering 2021. The year 2021 ends on December 31st. People are remembering news stories from 2021. News stories give information to people. The information is from around the world. One news story was about Inauguration Day. Inauguration Day was in Washington, D.C. on January 20th. Joe Biden became the new U.S. president on this day. Kamala Harris became the new U.S. vice president. The presidents and vice presidents are U.S. leaders. People honored the new leaders on Inauguration Day. Excuse me. Inauguration Day include speeches, parades, performance, and dance. Poet Amanda Gorman read a poem on Inauguration Day. Amanda is the youngest poet to perform on Inauguration Day. Another news story was about the Summer Olympics. The Summer Olympics was in Tokyo, Japan. The Summer Olympics was July 23rd to August 8th. Athletes competed in the Summer Olympics. The athletes were from around the world. The athletes competed in many sports. The sports included gymnastics, swimming, track and field, weightlifting, and soccer. The athletes competed to win medals. U.S. athletes won more than 100 medals. Another news story was about wildfires in the U.S. Dangerous wildfires burned in 12 states in the U.S. West. The biggest wildlife was in California. This wildlife was named the Dixie Fire. The Dixie Fire started to burn on July 13th. The Dixie Fire burned for many months. It was the biggest single wildfire in California. The Dixie Fire destroyed hundreds of buildings. Many people had to leave their homes. Firefighters worked hard to put out the Dixie Fire. The year 2021 ends on December 31st. The year 2021 had many news stories. People are remembering these news stories. What other news stories do you remember from 2021? News stories give information to people. The information may be about people, events, places, and more. News stories may be on TV, on a website, in a newspaper, or on the radio. News stories from 2021 were from around the world. The world includes Earth. The world includes people, animals, landforms, continents, and countries. The world has many countries. Knock. Who's there? When? When who? When will the 2022 starts? I have a joke. Tell me, what phone does a gymnast use? I don't know. What? A flip phone. Choose the pictures about remembering 2021. Firefighter. No kitchen. Remembering at least. Sports information. No magnet. Vice President. No dump truck. Inauguration. Wildfire. World. President. News story. And Summer Olympics. No basements. What is the paper about? Remembering 2021. Who is remembering news stories from 2021? People. Where were the news stories from? World. Who read the poem on Inauguration Day? Amanda Gorman. What did athletes compete to win at the Summer Olympics? Medals. Where was the Dixie Fire? California. Here's the puzzle page of firefighters, information, presidents, remember, wildfire, sports, news story, world, athletes, excuse me, and world. That's all. All pages back. All pages back. Should be next up. Grand Egyptian Museum. A big museum plans to open in late 2021. This museum is the Grand Egyptian Museum. The Grand Egyptian Museum is in Giza, Egypt. Egypt is a country in Africa. The Grand Egyptian Museum is huge. It is the biggest archaeology museum in the world. Archaeology is the study of how people lived long ago. Visitors can learn about people in ancient Egypt. Ancient means very long ago. People started building the Grand Egyptian Museum in 2012. People worked hard to get the Grand Egyptian Museum ready. They moved items from other museums. People had to move the items very carefully. The items are thousands of years old. The Grand Egyptian Museum has more than 50,000 items. The items include ancient coins, tools, pottery, boats, and statues. The Grand Egyptian Museum has exhibits about ancient Egypt. The biggest exhibit is about a pharaoh named King Tut. Pharaoh was the king of ancient Egypt. King Tut was the youngest pharaoh of Egypt. He became pharaoh at 9 years old. King Tut died at 19 years old. He was buried in a tomb with many treasures. A scientist found the tomb and treasures in 1922. King Tut's tomb had thousands of treasures. The treasures include jewelry, thrones, statues, chests, and much more. Many treasures were made of gold. King Tut's treasures were at different museums for years. All the treasures are at the Grand Egyptian Museum now. They are at one museum for the first time. Visitors can see the treasures. Visitors can learn about King Tut. The Grand Egyptian Museum includes modern exhibits. The Grand Egyptian Museum includes a library, a theater, stores, restaurants, and parks. The Grand Egyptian Museum includes an area for kids too. Would you like to go to the Grand Egyptian Museum? A scientist found a King Tut's tomb in 1922. The scientists were archaeologists, and archaeologists digs in the dirt for items for long ago. An archaeologist just studies the items. The items shows how people lived long ago. The Grand Egyptian Museum is in Giza, Egypt. Giza is the northeastern Egypt on the Nile River. Giza is famous for three tall pyramids. The pyramids are tombs for pharaohs from ancient Egypt. The tallest pyramid is called the Great Pyramid. Now, who's there? Thrown. Thrown who? Thrown out any treasures. I have a joke. Tell me, why did King Tut go to the dentist? I don't know. Why? He chipped his tooth. What is this paper about? Trailing of, I mean, Grand Egyptian Museum. Who was the youngest pharaoh of ancient Egypt? King Tut. Where is the Grand Egyptian Museum? Giza, Egypt. What was in King Tut's tomb? Treasures. What word means very long ago? Ancient. What was the king of ancient Egypt called? Pharaoh. Choose the pictures about Grand Egyptian Museum. King Tut's ancient power, not Daisy. Exhibit no mudslide. Tomb scientist. No engine. Egypt archaeology treasures. Biggest line, no gear, and museum. That's it. Next up, saving the Great Barrier Reef. The Great Barrier Reef is in danger. Scientists are working to save the Great Barrier Reef. The Great Barrier Reef is in the Pacific Ocean. The Great Barrier Reef is near Queensland, Australia. The Great Barrier Reef is very long. The Great Barrier Reef is more than 1,200 miles long. The Great Barrier Reef is made of many colored, smaller coral reefs. A coral reef is an underwater area covered with corals. Corals are very small ocean animals. More than 300 kinds of corals live on the Great Barrier Reef. The corals are attached to the Great Barrier Reef. The corals stay in the same place. The corals are many different shapes. Most of the corals are colorful. Colorful corals are healthy. Healthy corals may be brown, blue, green, or red. Many colors corals on the Great Barrier Reef become white. White corals are not healthy. Why do corals become white? One big cause is hotter temperatures. Hotter temperatures makes ocean warmer. Sometimes the ocean becomes too warm. Then the corals become white. The last 5 years were bad for the Great Barrier Reef. Many corals became white between 2016 and 2020. White corals are in danger of dying. More than half the corals on the barrier reef have died. Scientists want to stop more corals from dying. Scientists are working to save the Great Barrier Reef. Scientists are doing experiments with new kinds of corals. The new corals stay healthy in warmer oceans. Scientists can attach the new corals onto the Great Barrier Reef. The new corals, grow faster than other corals. Scientists are doing experiments with temperatures too. They are trying to cool the ocean around the Great Barrier Reef. Cooling the ocean may keep colorful corals healthy. Cooling the ocean may stop white corals from dying. Cooling the ocean may help save the Great Barrier Reef. Saving the Great Barrier Reef is important. The Great Barrier Reef is a home for many ocean animals. These ocean animals include fish, lobster, dolphins, whales, and sea turtles. Saving the Great Barrier Reef can save the animals' home. Scientists are working to save the Great Barrier Reef. Many of these scientists study ocean life. Scientists who study ocean life are called marine biologists. Marine biologists may work in labs on boats and the ocean. The Great Barrier Reef is in the Pacific Ocean. The Pacific Ocean is one of the 5 oceans on Earth. The Pacific Ocean is the deepest ocean. The Pacific Ocean is the biggest ocean too. More than 50 countries border the Pacific Ocean. The Great Barrier Reef is near Queensland, Australia. Queensland is a state in northeastern Australia. Queensland is the second biggest state in Australia. Queensland is called the Sunshine State. The capital of Queensland is Brisbane. Knock knock. Who's there? Small. Small who? Small the fresh ocean air. I have a joke. Tell me, what kind of fish is famous? I don't know. What kind? A starfish. Choose the pictures about saving the Great Barrier Reef. Experiment. Colorful. No book. Safe. No harvest. 1. Great Barrier Reef. Healthy. Danger. Corals. Scientists. No movie set. Coral reef. No school bus. White and ocean. What is this? What is the paper about? Saving the Great Barrier Reef. Who are working to save the Great Barrier Reef? Scientists. Where is the Great Barrier Reef? Pacific Ocean. What are attached to the Great Barrier Reef? Corals. What color are many corals becoming? white. What are corals? Animals. This number one, scientist. 7 safe. Corals. 1 white. Healthy. Danger. Colorful. An ocean. That is all. That's all for reading. Thanks for watching, guys. And thank you for listening to reading. Make sure subscribe button, thumbs up, share, and share the button. Leave comments below. Have a good rest of the night, guys.